Imagine this. Someone lives in your mind rent-free, their presence a constant whisper in your thoughts. Yet, there is no communication, no closure, no understanding. They linger like a shadow, shaping your emotions, dictating your peace. What does this mean? Is it longing, unresolved pain, or something deeper? The truth is stark and sobering. It means you have surrendered control. You have handed over the keys to your mind to someone who might not even realize the power they hold. This is not their fault. It is yours. Today, we will explore the path of self-mastery, the Stoic way of regaining control, fortifying the mind, and breaking free from the invisible chains of destructive emotions. If they are always in your mind, it's time to confront the truth and reclaim your inner fortress. Because a mind in turmoil cannot find peace, and without peace, you are a prisoner of your own making. Number 1. The mind is a fortress. The Stoics believe that the mind is like a fortress. It is not the external world or others' actions that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "It is not events that disturb us, but our judgment concerning them." If someone occupies your mind without any communication, it means your judgment has granted them access. You've left the gates of your inner fortress unguarded, allowing their presence to influence your emotions, decisions, and even your sense of peace. When you dwell on someone, particularly in their absence, it often reveals an attachment born of fear, regret, or unfulfilled desires. These emotions can corrode the walls of your mental stronghold, leaving you vulnerable to doubt and suffering. As Stoics, we must question, why do we allow these intrusions? Is it because we fear losing something we never truly possessed? Or because we seek validation from a source outside ourselves? The Stoic path teaches us to reclaim the power of our judgments. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. If someone's presence lingers in your thoughts without communication, it is your judgment, your perception that sustains it. You have the ability to close the gates, to say, "No more," and to redirect your focus toward what truly matters, your own virtue, actions, and tranquility. Strengthening your mind as a fortress requires daily discipline. Practice reminding yourself that external factors, including people's actions or inactions, are beyond your control. What you can control is your response. Begin each day with a simple mantra. Today, I will guard my mind. I will not allow external influences to disturb my peace. This mental exercise builds the fortitude needed to withstand the storms of longing and regret. Remember, you are the architect of your inner world. When you allow someone to occupy your thoughts without permission, you are giving them the power to shape your reality. As Stoics, we reject this. We reclaim control, brick by brick, until our inner fortress is impenetrable. Number 2. Emotions are not enemies, but messengers. When someone is constantly on your mind without communication, the emotions that arise, longing, frustration, sadness, can feel like relentless enemies. But Stoicism teaches us that emotions are not meant to be suppressed or feared. They are messengers. They reveal the state of our inner world and guide us towards self-awareness. Seneca, the Roman Stoic, once said, "No man can have a peaceful life who thinks too much about lengthening it, or believes that pain is the greatest evil." Similarly, no mind can find peace when it is enslaved to emotions left unchecked. When you feel the pangs of longing or the weight of someone's absence, pause and ask, what is this emotion trying to tell me? Is it signaling an attachment to something beyond my control? Is it rooted in unmet expectations or a desire for reciprocation? The answer is not found in external action, but in an internal reckoning. Emotions point to where our work begins, where we must untangle our attachments and reorient our desires toward what we can control, our own thoughts and actions. A Stoic does not reject emotions but examines them with courage and clarity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have to assemble your life action by action, and be satisfied if each one achieves its goal as far as possible." No one can keep that from happening. If the emotion reveals a wound, then tending to that wound is within your power. If it highlights an irrational fear or an unhelpful desire, then redirecting your focus is your responsibility. It is crucial to remember that emotions lose their destructive power when we confront them. Imagine yourself as a sailor on stormy seas. The waves of emotion may toss your ship, but your reason is the anchor that holds you steady. The storm cannot last forever if you remain anchored in truth and self-mastery. Let your emotions guide you to the deeper work of letting go. Acknowledge them, listen to their message, and then release them. As Seneca wisely advised, throw aside all hindrances and give up your time to attaining a sound mind. If someone is always in your thoughts, their presence is a reminder to focus on your inner soundness, not their absence. Through this practice, you transform emotions from tormentors into teachers. Number 3, the illusion of control. One of the most agonizing truths we must confront is this: we control far less than we imagine. When someone occupies your mind without communication, it is often because you are clinging to an illusion that somehow through your thoughts you can influence their actions, feelings, or presence in your life. But this is a deception, and Stoicism demands that we see it for what it is. Epictetus reminds us, some things are up to us and some things are not. The behavior, choices, and emotions of another person belong to the realm of things we cannot control. Yet we torture ourselves by replaying past interactions, imagining alternate outcomes, or longing for a resolution that may never come. This is not wisdom, it is folly. When we attempt to control the uncontrollable, we invite suffering. Why? Because we tether our peace to something external, fragile, and fleeting. To live as a Stoic is to break free from this tether. Instead of lamenting what we cannot change, we redirect our energy toward what we can, our own thoughts, actions, and character. Marcus Aurelius offered this sobering perspective. You have wandered all over and finally realized that you never found what you were after: how to live. Not in syllogisms, not in wealth, not in fame, not in self-indulgence, nowhere. The lesson is clear. Fulfillment cannot be found in trying to control others. It lies in mastering ourselves. If someone's absence consumes your thoughts, it is because you are seeking completion in them, a completion that can only be found within yourself. Letting go of the illusion of control is not an act of weakness, but of immense strength. It requires us to face the reality that life is unpredictable, and people are autonomous. Accepting this truth allows us to reclaim the mental space wasted on futile efforts and invest it in cultivating our inner virtues. To break free, remind yourself daily of what is within your power. Epictetus encouraged us to focus on our own will and actions, saying, "Seek not that the things which happen should happen as you wish, but wish the things which happen to be as they are." Acceptance is not resignation, it is freedom. When we release the illusion of control, we step into the unshakable serenity that comes from aligning with reality. Number 4, attachment as the root of suffering. When someone remains in your mind without communication, it often points to an attachment you have formed, an attachment to a person, an idea of them, or a version of reality you wish to exist. This attachment becomes a shackle, chaining your peace of mind to something you cannot control. The Stoics were unrelenting in their analysis of attachment, for they understood its destructive potential. As Epictetus warned, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Attachment, at its core, stems from a misunderstanding. The belief that our happiness is dependent on something outside of ourselves, whether it's the presence of a specific person, their validation, or a desired outcome. We convince ourselves that without it, we are incomplete. This is the foundation of suffering, because the external world is unpredictable, and the more tightly we cling to it, the more we expose ourselves to disappointment. A Stoic seeks freedom from this cycle by cultivating detachment. Detachment does not mean apathy or indifference, it means releasing the grip of dependency. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." If someone no longer communicates with you, their absence is an opportunity to practice this art of letting go. Instead of seeing it as a loss, see it as a moment to strengthen your inner resilience. Detachment is not a cold withdrawal from life, it is the ultimate form of liberation. Imagine carrying a heavy bag for miles, its weight growing unbearable. When you finally release it, you feel light and unburdened. This is what detachment offers, the ability to walk through life without being weighed down by unnecessary emotional baggage. To practice detachment, remind yourself daily that everything external is fleeting. People come and go, circumstances change, and nothing is guaranteed. This truth is not meant to dishearten, but to empower. Seneca reminds us, "The wise man is neither raised up by prosperity nor cast down by adversity, for he has always sought to rely chiefly upon himself and to derive all joy from himself." By letting go of attachments, we reclaim our joy from external forces and place it firmly within our control. Ultimately, the absence of communication is not a wound, but a lesson. It teaches us to redirect our focus inward, to build a life so rich with purpose and virtue that no external loss can diminish our strength. In this detachment, we discover true freedom, the kind that no one can take from us. Number 5. The power of presence in the present moment. When someone occupies your mind incessantly, it often signals a disconnection from the present moment. Your thoughts are caught in the web of what-ifs, past memories, or imagined futures. The Stoics recognize this tendency as one of the greatest thieves of peace. Marcus Aurelius cautioned, "Confine yourself to the present. For it is only in the present moment that we can truly live and act." Dwelling on someone without communication traps you in a cycle of mental projection. You replay old conversations, analyze their meaning, or anticipate outcomes that may never come. These mental habits steal the energy that could be used to build your present reality. The result is not clarity, but confusion. Not peace, but turmoil. As Epictetus observed, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." The Stoic way forward is to anchor yourself in the present. Ask yourself, what do I have control over in this moment? Can I direct my thoughts toward gratitude for what is here and now? Can I take action toward my goals, my growth, and my virtue? The answer is always yes, but only if you pull yourself out of the mire of mental distractions. The power of presence lies in its simplicity. Focus on what you can see, hear, and do right now. Marcus Aurelius offered this advice: "Do not let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which arm you against the present." The absence of communication from someone is a distraction only if you allow it to be. Redirect your mind to what truly matters: your purpose, your actions, and the gift of the present moment. To practice this, create rituals that ground you. It could be as simple as a morning reflection, where you remind yourself of your priorities, or an evening gratitude practice, where you acknowledge the good in your life. These habits, small as they may seem, create a mental shield against the pull of distractions. The present moment is your strongest ally. When you embrace it, you dissolve the grip of the past and the anxiety of the future. In this state, the presence of another person in your mind loses its hold, for you have reclaimed your focus and directed it toward what is real, tangible, and within your control. Number 6, freedom through acceptance. When someone lingers in your mind without communication, the pain often stems from resistance to reality as it is. You might wish things were different, that they reached out, that you could rewrite the past or control the future. But Stoicism teaches us a profound truth. Peace comes not from changing external circumstances, but from accepting them. As Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." Acceptance is not passive resignation. It is an act of immense courage. It requires looking reality in the face and saying, "I may not like this, but I will not let it destroy my inner peace." When you accept that someone's silence is beyond your control, you free yourself from the burden of wishing for what cannot be. You stop fighting the current and instead flow with it, conserving your strength for what truly matters. This principle is rooted in the Stoic concept of amor fati, or the love of fate. Marcus Aurelius urged us to embrace all that happens, writing, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it. The silence of another person, their absence, or their indifference is fuel for your inner fire. Use it to strengthen your character, to practice resilience, and to grow in wisdom." To accept is not to stop caring. It is to care wisely. It is recognizing that your well-being cannot hinge on the actions of another. Acceptance allows you to focus on what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, and your response to life's challenges. It liberates you from the torment of what if and anchors you firmly in the reality of what is. Start with small acts of acceptance. When a painful thought about this person arises, pause and remind yourself, "This is outside my control." What I can control is how I respond to it. With practice, you will find that the grip of these thoughts weakens. What once consumed you will become a distant echo. Ultimately, freedom is not found in controlling others, but in mastering yourself. When you accept the reality of the situation, you reclaim your power. You transform what was once a source of suffering into a source of strength. And in doing so, you step closer to the Stoic ideal, a life of unshakable peace, guided by reason and fortified by virtue. Number 7, turning pain into purpose. When someone is always in your mind without communication, it can feel like a wound that refuses to heal. But Stoicism teaches us that pain is not an obstacle, it is an opportunity. The absence of this person, the unanswered questions, the lingering thoughts, they are not meant to break you but to build you. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, what stands in the way becomes the way. Pain, when embraced with wisdom, becomes the very path to your transformation. The key is to shift your perspective. Instead of viewing this mental struggle as a burden, see it as a forge, a place where your character is being tempered. Each moment you resist the urge to dwell on what you cannot control. Each time you redirect your thoughts to something meaningful, you are sharpening your inner strength. Seneca reminds us, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Let this difficulty be the labor that strengthens your soul. To turn pain into purpose, ask yourself, what is this situation teaching me? Perhaps it is teaching you patience, the ability to endure without complaint. Perhaps it is revealing where your attachments lie, giving you the chance to break free from them. Or perhaps it is pushing you to grow, to focus on your own virtues instead of someone else's absence. Whatever the lesson, embrace it fully. Do not waste your pain, it is one of life's greatest teachers. This process requires action. Pain left to fester becomes suffering, but pain transformed into purpose becomes fuel. Channel your energy into something meaningful. Pursue a skill, invest in your passions, or deepen your practice of Stoic principles. Every time your mind drifts toward this person, use it as a signal to act, to create, to learn, to grow. Over time, you will find that the thoughts that once held you captive now drive you forward. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Don't lament this and don't get agitated. Instead, take ownership of your response. Recognize that this challenge is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more resilient." The pain is not a curse, it is a catalyst. When you emerge from it, you will not be the same person who began this journey. You will be transformed, forged by adversity into something unshakable. In the end, turning pain into purpose is the essence of Stoicism. It is the practice of taking life's hardships and using them to cultivate virtue. When someone occupies your thoughts without communication, let it remind you of your capacity to grow, to endure, and to thrive. This is how you honor your pain, not by succumbing to it, but by rising above it. When someone is always in your mind without communication, it is a call to return to yourself. It is an invitation to reclaim your peace, to master your emotions, and to build a life anchored in virtue. The Stoics remind us that we cannot control others, but we can control how we respond to them. Through self-discipline, acceptance, and a focus on the present moment, we transform longing into learning, pain into purpose, and attachment into freedom. Let this silence be your teacher. Let it guide you back to the only place where true power resides, within yourself. And remember, as Marcus Aurelius said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. So choose thoughts that strengthen you, actions that uplift you, and a path that leads to unshakable peace. What are your views on this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I will personally read all of your comments. And if you seriously want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Stay strong. Until next time.